What's good, YouTube, man? It's OG Drip, man. New to the channel, go ahead and press the subscribe button. Also, smash the bell and also smash the thumbs up as well. This is a channel where we talk about the spiritual truth and how to utilize energy from a day-to-day basis. Y'all, and listen, when we talk about utilizing energy today, we're talking about how to utilize the sun. So, hey, all I'm saying for a quick reference, a little quick note, just to know that the sun is like basically how we like to be looked upon, how we like to shine in life. So you think about that. So then when I'm going through the houses, you know what I'm saying, if you don't know much about astrology, the house would be the part of life that you want to be shining upon. So when we think about the 360, know that those are 12 parts of your house equal up to a 360, which is the 30 degrees each house. Y'all know what I mean. So when we go down and talk about the sun being in the first house is the personal house. So this is where, you know what I'm saying, when the sun is in your first house, this will make you shine according to your personal usage. You know what I mean? So you may see yourself shining the harder you feel like you could bring this personal image out. You get what I'm saying? So when people looking at you and not necessarily of what they actually got to say outside of, if it ain't important to you, this is how you utilize your energy. You know what I mean? So long story short, people may look at you as a leader. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. You know how to lead things. But remember, now, when we talk about energy, you have to remember, you could utilize energy or you could get used against it. So when we talk about getting used against your energy, remember, when the sun is in the first house, don't let it take you too personal where you're trying to shine so hard to bring in light onto yourself when you're blasting others light out. So now the imagery is hidden to you because you don't really care much about what others got to say. And now you're in a situation where your image is not as shining as you think. You get what I'm saying? So your energy is not being utilized. You're not being looked at as a good leader. You're looked at as an incorrect leader. Nobody need to follow them. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So keep that in mind. So moving on, man. So the sun being in the second house. The second house is your values, your talents. You know what I'm saying? Or possessions, material matters, however you want to look at it. So when you talk about the sun being in the second house, be careful because you as a person like to show people what you could bring to the table. You know what I mean? And that's not necessarily financially. You need to always try to worry about that. Like when it comes to trying to bring material stuff to the table all the time, don't worry about that. Try to shine more on what your talent's worth, because you will find yourself in a situation you telling people that you could get this done and now you coming up short notice. So now people looking at you as in, oh, they can't put up their part of the table. So when it's time to look at them, you know what I'm saying, I don't see them pitching in. I don't see them helping out. And really that is literally what you're here for. So that's going to completely destroy you. So at the end of the day, make sure you're around people that know how to value your talent. You know what I'm saying? So you could show your talent over it and showing what you could what you could buy or bring. Y'all know what I mean in all senses. Think about it. So boom, moving on, man. I'm not gonna keep this a whole hour or nothing like that. I'm just gonna break it down simple. So when the sun is in the third house is the house of communications. So this is for just like thinking, talking to one another and all. So when your sun is in the third house, sometimes people may look at you as being very talkative. You know what I mean? But don't let that discourage you, because one thing about it, you like to communicate with others. Not only that, when you communicating, you're getting more intellectual. You're starting to actually analyze things. You're actually starting to improve your way of even communicating even more. So actually walk along with that. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody bash your image, but at the same time, be around people that likes that. Be around people that like you ask them questions all day and for you to answer back and stuff like that, because that'll keep it healthy for you. You know what I mean? So like I said, everybody got a certain group and people want to be surrounded, and sometimes that helps on the way that we be affected a lot. Trust me. So at the end of the day, when the sun, now I'm going on to the sun being in the fourth house. When the sun is in the fourth house is the house of privacy, the house of security, home house. You know what I mean? So when the sun is in the fourth house, you may find yourself as want to be, you know what I'm saying? The security of every event. So you may feel like the way that you like to be looked on upon is like people like, oh, people know not to mess with their family. People know not to mess with them over there, or you know what I'm saying? Like a way of respect of how your privacy is. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, you could be looked upon as some people's eyes as being overprotective. See, and to avoid that, and to avoid you actually being overprotective, you need to be in a foundation where you don't have to, you know what I'm saying, work so hard to keep shielding it. Because now you're going to build insecurities trying to shield this so much. You're going to build security attacks now. about you being too secure because you sitting there trying to fix something that don't want to be fixed in the first place. So make sure you in a foundation that wants to grow, and that's in all ways of how you want to look at it. You know what I mean? So boom, moving on to the sun being in the fifth house. Anytime if you're born with the sun in the fifth house, this lets you know basically you like to be looked upon of how your creativity. You know what I'm saying? How you express yourself. You know, so make sure you're around people that like to see that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You may be a good gamer. You know, that's be a good use of it because not only do you know how to express yourself, you'll know how to show the joy, and also games also fall in the fifth house. So that'll be another way that you shine, another way that you feel good about stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because people are like, dang, I didn't know you was that good at something. Oh, dang, I didn't know you know how to do this and do that. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you find that in a way. And make sure at the end of the day, you don't get to the point that you're trying to show something that's super creative, you know what I'm saying, only to your way, and then people looking at it like, you being over expressive, you being over exaggerative. So try to keep it around people, or try to situate yourself when that you're not trying to be too over expressive in the wrong type of time or the wrong type of people. So moving on, man, to the sun being in the sixth house. So the sun being in the sixth. Okay, moving on to the sun being in the sixth house. The sixth house is the house of services. So anytime, you know what I'm saying, you feel like you bring shine to the stuff that you could offer, the stuff that you got, you know what I'm saying, that you could bring service to. So furthers health and all. So when it comes down to you being around certain people, some people may be looking at you like you a health nerd. You worry, you know what I'm saying, you focusing too much on this and that there. You know, you focus and worrying too much about that. So make sure you're around the right type of people that respect the stuff that you're trying to bring to the table. You know what I mean? Because this is how you like to be looked upon. You like to be a services to someone. You know what I mean? So in a way, it is like, especially when it comes to like critical people, because when the sun is in the health and when the sun is in the sixth house, I mean, it makes you like very, like, you know how the sun shining is, like make you very sensitive when it comes to criticism. So make sure you surround yourself not around people that just using the help for no reason and talking about you, but make sure you also be around people that could accept that and let you shine your light by, you know, letting you show that and not talking about you at the same time, and being able to, you know what I'm saying, salute you more for that, because this is how you shine. You know what I mean? So moving on to the sun being in the seventh house. Now the seventh house, we know, is about like businessship, partnership, relationships, all that. So basically it's trying to seek balance between two people. So when your sun is in the seventh house and you don't have you're not in a relationship, you're going to feel unbalanced. You know what I'm saying? You're going to feel like you're unstable. So anytime you have the sun in the seventh house, you will find yourself being one of the people that, if you're in a relationship, knowing how to make it work, knowing how to understand their partner's wants and understand yours, and trying to balance them out and trying to actually put theirs over yours, because you like to shine by showing your partner, or your partner in a relationship or your partner in a business, of what you can actually do furthest when it comes down to your partnership or your businessship. So remember that not to get around nobody that's shabby and stuff like that, and to take that and run with it, because now you're putting your all into somebody that don't want nothing out of y'all. I mean, nothing out of you, and that could be depleting your energy, man. So stay away from that. Make sure you're around, and make sure if you're in a relationship, make sure you get in a relationship that's basically healthy, where this person will allow you to try to suggest extra things, not let them be too self-controlling. You know what I mean? So they can understand to let you do what you do, so you can shine as well. So no one feel like, yo, he blocking my light. This the way I'm looked upon in life, and you trying to take that away from me. That's all I got, or whatever you want to say. You know what I'm saying? Just don't let nobody take that away from you. So now when we talk about the sun being in the eighth house is, I'm gonna just say for short, the house of transformation, right? So anytime the sun is in the eighth house, it gives you like this weird effect, right? Where you always trying to do something, and it's like you not satisfied. You know what I mean? So this brings some intense power, some real powerful power, because now when you're talking about transformation, you like to be looked upon as an evolving. You know what I'm saying? And you know how in Dragon Ball Z, how they go from regular to Super Saiyan, you know what I'm saying? This is how you like to be looked upon. So even if it's in a language of taboos, and you trying to like mess with mystical power and basically find more to make you enhanced and make you better at life, this is something you gonna find diving deep. So when it comes down to spirituality, it is kind of good for you, especially like I was saying, because you like to see the transformation. So that is the strong energy inside of it. You know what I'm saying? and make sure you keep it, keep it contained, because at the same time, remember now, when you want to see something transfer so bad, and you that's the only way you getting satisfied with it. Sometimes you're trying to push something that is at its peak, and you over push it, you overdo it, and then it start breaking you down. You know what I'm saying? So basically, some parts of your life you may experience as a rebirth on a higher level. You know what I mean? So look at it that way. Like some things, and when they have to stop and start over, just look at it like, boom, this is the transformation in that. So you won't find yourself trying to create so many different things and take so many different notes that you actually end up not seeing nothing transfer, and you actually don't, notice none of that. So also, just to throw out there, this would be like the house where you through like, people like to investigate mysteries and stuff like that, bro. So it's like metaphysical studies and all that also will help you increase your knowledge. So when you're increasing your knowledge, you also feel like you're transforming. I had to kind of get that one out. Okay, the sign in the ninth house. This is the house of philosophy, travel, however you want to look at it. So anytime the sun is in the ninth house, you'll find yourself, like to be traveling, like to share other cultures, the stuff that you know and stuff like that, man. But you remember, now everything has a good and a bad to it. So you may be, although you may be adventurous and you may like to, be talking to others and trying to educate yourself in that type of way, and trying to always be in the like you always wanting and ready to share your knowledge and stuff with others, with foreigners or foreign islands, however you want to say it, you tend to, overcast. So don't get too far into trying to get your don't be too excited, how I'm gonna say, to get your knowledge out to different lands and stuff and end up overstepping there. So at the same time, understand how to be tolerant and adventurous, and also to be still curious. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna keep you moving. We know you're curious. We know you want to know about what's over there and what's over there and what's over there. But at the same time, you have to sit back and you have to listen. Because I know sometimes we be like, man, I done been there before. You can't tell me about this. I done been there and I done did this. Sometimes you have to sit back and listen. Sometimes some others know more than what you expect. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, remember that. Because you, for example, is like real good. If it's possible, you will earn more, like real shit. You will earn more than one academic degree and function as a teacher. So this would be like, people that know. I'm talking about the teachers that you be seeing that know like multiple sign languages, knowing multiple things about this country, that country, and another. Like this is what gives you your oomph. So make sure you go around and get from around. Do not stay restricted. That's your main problem. Your main problem is that you're restricted. You know what I'm saying? Do not restrict yourself. Make sure you travel. Make sure you let that sun shine. You feel me? So moving on to the sun being in the 10th house. So now when we okay, now moving on. When the sun is in the 10th house, and the 10th house is, the house of career, you know what I'm saying? Social status. So anytime it comes to this, you will find yourself like to be looked at as authority. Like you want to be the manager of a job or something like that. You like for people to look like they have to come to you to know what to do next. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind, because that's a good energy, because we need that type of energy in the world. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody has to direct people through what's going on. So somebody has to create professionals. You know what I mean? So that's to be the type of person you see yourself as. So if you was to ever like try to get somebody to do something and you got them to reach that social status, oh man, you'll feel like you did the most. But remember though, sometimes being too into authority can be a downfall, because now people looking at you as I don't want to be like that person. That person's an asshole. Like that person there is like they do too much. Like this is one of the people that you be seeing at your job and they act like they own the whole store when they're just the manager. You know what I mean? So you don't want to be one of those type of people. So be careful. Okay, boom. Now when you have the sun in the 11th house, this is like the house of like higher learning. So basically, long story short, this is like when you know what I'm saying, when you got the sun in the 11th house, you will find yourself like one of the people that's like always trying to make something equal. Not only that, you always trying to look at the other way of the story, or how, when some people like you ain't trying to see my side of the story. Nah, not you. You one of those people that know, you know what I'm saying, trying to look at both sides of the story. You know what I'm saying, trying to understand it and trying to make it work. But see, this got a lot to do with friendships. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind, because you are seen as everybody's friend, but not always a friend to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? So you value your friendship for the most important, and you try to work things out and try to get people to understanding the higher way of looking at things. But you have to remember not to get around people that's too far fetched like that allowing you to do that too much. You get what I'm saying? Like they're allowing you to take their side knowing damn well they wrong. You know what I'm saying? Try not to look at it like that, because now you'll find it hard to even see when someone is doing a low level of knowledge or someone doing something chaotic. So be careful about that, because I know, you know what I'm saying, you so full of the light that can help people, but sometimes you don't see that some of these people is full of darkness. So beware of that, man. And that's just giving you that. So these would be the type of people that you might see as pastors and stuff like that. See, so some of them feel like they belong there, but it's just they not teaching the correct stuff. But they belong there. Trust me, you know what I mean? So anytime it comes, moving on, anytime it comes to the sun being in the 12th house, and you know the 12th house is the what is your karma? You know, the subconscious house, or however you want to say it. You know, this is where you feel like you always feel like you just need to be away from everybody. You know what I'm saying? You know how the areas, how I was explaining the first house, my bad. How I was explaining the first house, and I was explaining how people you like for people to be looking at you. This is like kind of the opposite. This is kind of like you don't like being looked upon. You want to be subconsciously, you want to be in loneliness. You know what I'm saying? Because you feel like you're better when you're alone. You know what I'm saying? You're compassionate about you really passionate about when you sit away from others. That is just how some people is. So that's why I be saying, like, y'all can't force some people to do stuff that they don't want to do. It. They're not built like that. But see, on my channel, I say the spiritual truth. The spiritual truth is the key word. And I mean, as a spirit, you know the truth about how your body reacting. See, I'm not saying nothing as in being true or false, because y'all remember, in this world, it's not too much of nothing that's necessarily true or false. It's about the right way of going about it. And it get deeper than that. You know what I mean? I just want y'all to know that. So, anytime it start talking about that, you have to be careful, because you might want to be so secluded from everybody else. Now that you start missing out, and people that actually love you start to tend like you don't necessarily love them back, and I mean that you necessarily don't mess with them back, not love, but necessarily see them. You know what I mean? So, try to keep your compassion, set, but at the same time open up to others, because that can help you realize more about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because I know subconsciously you just worried about that, basically your own thoughts and stuff. So, it's weird, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you need to find a path that allows you to get away from it all. That's all I'm saying. A path that allows you to take away from others. Don't get in no fast food job, and a job that's fully loaded with people, and now that you feel like your space being invaded, and you feel like now you can't get no alone time, because you're going to be the first one to say, I can't get no alone time. So that's just to go ahead and show you that. But anyway, y'all, I just want y'all to know that the sun is also more comfortable in other houses. You know what I'm saying? Because the sun sits in a certain, like, say if a planet is comfortable with something, it kind of ignites the power. And that's one thing I did want to explain to y'all. Because, hey, everything has a more traumatic effect when you know more about it. But at the same time, I didn't want to lose nobody. But we can do a part 2 if y'all having problems with that, and we can get to a deeper understanding of it. But, man, I'm out, man. I love y'all. OG Gerald.